We are going to Austin, Texas.
Oh, one of my favorite cities.
The good doctor, AnnMaureen. You're up.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Headphones. Oh, so nice to meet you, Shola. I've been anticipating this. This is my first event in
Same.
So I'm not fluent in Yoruba. I'm Nigerian, but my mom.
Oh,
is.
Yoruba, let's go.
And I know your name. I'm so big into names, and your name, you embody your name. You know, Shola means, like she said, abundance, bringing in hope, signifies wealth, success, all of that. I'm like, oh my goodness, he just embodied that on on here. Like, so I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I have 2 questions. I wrote that down. My mind has just been bubbling with so many things you said. I work with kids. So I think I will start with the first question is for my son. So my son is 10. He's writer. And so I went to ask. So this is what I said. So for someone like him who he just wrote a book and he's thinking about writing more books, back and forth. And what struck me with what you said, I haven't gotten your book yet. Like I said, I just joined the Outliers, so I didn't know about it. So I'm going to get it. So you said you wrote a book to your younger. So what advice give to my son to be able to incorporate these values that you were talking about, civility, which segues into my next question. But for this question for him, how can he incorporate these values that you have been talking about now that he's starting on that journey of being an author?
Yeah. So first of all, 10 years old and being an author and even having that on your radar is, talk about a high achiever. So there's that. The best advice that I could give your baby boy is something very simple. And it's like, I think, and I wish I knew this when I was 10, that everyone is dealing with some level of insecurity. It's not just you. So I would think like, oh, she's so confident. She's got it all together. And we're all fumbling in the dark. No one knows. And that includes everyone on this call. We're all trying to figure this out. Like, I got this completely figured out. I don't know, unless you're a sociopath. Like, most people don't think that way. We're just trying to make it through and fumble through the dark. And if I knew that in the beginning, then be more willing to give myself kindness and acceptance, knowing that I'm not alone. That I'm like, all right, all right. The fact that I don't know what my next step is okay, because no one else does either. And I can give myself grace instead of me saying, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I don't know what's going on. And then second thing I would tell your son is to not use those words to describe yourself ever. Whatever comes after I am ends up becoming real. I truly believe this. So I would advise your son and anyone else on this call to speak to yourself in the same way that you'd speak to the person who you love the most. And I make a lot of mistakes. I screw up a lot. I hurt people unintentionally. God knows I don't try to. I have to practice being kind to myself. There's a chapter in my book around forgiveness that I think probably one of the most powerful chapters or anything I've ever written. I really hope you guys read this book because I think you'll really dig it. Understanding like being kind to yourself and being willing to forgive yourself for not having it all together is probably one of the hardest things for people to do. And figuring out at 10 will save you so much pain, and it saves so much pain in his 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. So learning that at 10 could be a huge thing.
Oh, that's awesome. You hit the nail on the head, because he's really, really hard on himself. And then he got some pushback, a little bit of bullying at school for writing the book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, a lot of that has been in his head. He has been tentative, in starting the second book. He's not sure. Will he be accepted? Will he be made fun of? So thank you for that.
Can I say something to you about your little boy? Listen, there's an old saying, at least out here in the hood, man, is that they only hate when you're great. So why in the world? That's the only reason why they're coming at your kid. It's like if your kid wasn't doing anything, they wouldn't be saying anything to him. That means your boy is on the right track. So just FYI.
Thank you. And then my last question. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, my last question is, I life coach kids, so 6 to 13. And like I said, your work on civility, everything that you talked about, even what you talked about in, including kids in the sessions at Congress, I thought that would be great if they continue that. So my question is this. Seeing what I've seen in schools, I was a former educator and also coaching kids now, and I think this is really needed. What would you say to educators, coaches like me? How do we go about making this a daily life value? How can we include this in school curriculum? Because I know we always talk about adults, but what I see starting from as young as age 6, equipping them with this sort of skills goes a long way.
Well, first things first is the consistent modeling and rewarding of the behavior that you want to see. I think there's something scientifically where we talk about reward process and how our brains work. And so when you reward the behavior that you want, and if you want to change things, it's not about punishing the behavior that you don't want as much as around rewarding the behaviors that you do want to see. This is really true with children and with kids. So when we're talking about bringing this curricula into schools, part of it is around when you having rules that anyone can understand. And then when you see someone demonstrating that, someone sitting with someone at school at the lunch table who's sitting alone, stepping in when you see someone being bullied, these things need to be rewarded, recognized, so the people feel good, so they'll be more willing to do it. Not only will the kid who does that, who's getting the reward, want to do it again, but the ones who are observing this kid do it will want to do it as well. So that's the whole idea, is keeping this going in a way that it kind of takes off with a little bit of virality, for lack of a better way of putting it. I can go on forever about this, but I mean, literally, like, I need like another call. Can we do this again? Because like I'm like this. I know. I mean, I'm just getting warmed up, man. This is just, I'm ready to go. Thanks, Dr. AnnMaureen. Appreciate you.